first goal. It was St. Patty's Day. We were playing Boston in the Garden.
Here's Callahan. He scores! Making 2!
I was lucky enough to score 2 goals that night.
Good things are happening tonight.
It was a special night for me.
We were at his first game, opening night, he scored a goal. And I was like, oh my God, this isn't a fluke. He might belong here. I mean, he really may be able to play here.
I love playing at MSG, and it's such a historic building to be able to go out there and play hockey. It's an honor.
And then you stop and think about all the people that have been at the Garden. The Pope has been there, and now you say, you know what, my son was part of that.
I was 16, 17 years old when I left, and it'd be my first time living away from home, and it was really hard to make that move.
You leaving to go to golf was the hardest thing I'd ever done as a mother. You talked to me in the car one day and said, Mom, you have to let me do this, you have to let me go. I have to see if I can achieve my dream. And I said, but why? I don't understand why the OHL, why can't you go to college? And you gave me the statistics on how many players make the NHL from the OHL. So I had to let you go, but it was the hardest thing I ever did as a mother to let you go at 17.
It was a tough decision to choose between going major, junior, or going, the college route, but I was really passionate about wanting to go play in Canada and, try to pursue my dream of playing in the NHL. I was actually drafted the last round in the OHL in the 15th round, and I went out to their training camp, and I was lucky enough to earn a spot. After that, I think I just grew, and, I realized if I worked hard and, went out every night and put out the effort, that I was going to get results. The day I got drafted and, we found out I was going to the Rangers, what was that day like?
I laid in bed and prayed that you would get taken on the second day, and at 9 o'clock, the phone rang.
So I handed the phone over to you, and then, he told you that you got picked by the Rangers in the 4th. Exciting day. It was crazy. The whole neighborhood went nuts, if you remember that.
His friends came over, Grandma came over, Grandpa, and we just celebrated. It was a really happy day.
Start of your dream. When he got called up to the show the first time, we expected him to stay there for a bit. He got called back to Hartford, and so, he was disappointed.
It was hard. It was tough to go down there after playing, quite a few games up.
And that happened a couple times the first year. But when he got hurt the second year, and he tried to work his way through back into the lineup, and he wasn't able to do it, that was pretty devastating to him.
When I went back down, I said to myself, I'm going to show these guys that, I could play up there, and I'm going to play up there.
With Avery and Hendricks in the box, and here come the Rangers, 2-on-1. Shot score!
At the time, I was just concentrating on the season I was having and, trying to do good for the Rangers, and then I get the call to go represent my country. The Olympic experience was awesome. I was able to have my family there to share it with me and to represent the USA in such a prestigious tournament. It was one of my proudest hockey moments.
When he was at the Olympics, it was just, oh my God, he's at the Olympics. This is just incredible. I never imagined that would happen at all.
I think the first reaction I had was shock. Never anticipated that you'd be an Olympian.
Proud of you. Thanks.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm gonna cry.
We're here at Locker Room Sports. I spent a lot of time here as a kid. They set me for my first gear, and they did all my skate sharpening, bought a lot of sticks here, so why don't we go inside and say hello.
Our roots are in hockey. I got started with a hockey pro shop back in '77, so we've been at it for quite some time.
They always had a hockey game on TV here, so it's a place where we all gathered, and no better place to do it than around all this gear. This might be a little small for me, but I think with equipment, it's just about how comfortable you are in it.
When you put that helmet on a hockey player, it's time to play.
It's an exciting time as a young kid to be able to come in here and get the new stuff. Obviously, it's an expensive sport, hockey, and with some payment plans and things like that, and cutting us deals when they could, it was awfully kind of them to do that, really not knowing us too well. Without that sport, I don't know if my family could afford to put me through hockey.
I can still remember down in the hockey room downstairs, Ryan's dad came in to get him outfitted, and we said, yeah, you're all set now. and we tried to take the equipment off him, and Ryan goes, no. So he comes running up the stairs, sees his brother Mike, goes running in, hits him like that, and Steve and I look at each other and go, I think he's ready for hockey.
Each stick has a different curve from an NHL player, and I always like to use the Shanahan curve. You know, I still use a variation of that today. Next is how light it is and the weight of it and the flexibility of it. Yeah, it's kind of surreal. You know, I come here as a kid and, you know, look up to these guys and admire these guys whose jerseys are in here, and now to be able to walk in here and see my own, I don't think you ever get used to it. You know, you see somebody wearing your jersey or you see it hanging in the window, you almost feel like it shouldn't be there. Thanks for having us. I appreciate everything you know, you've done for me for over the years, and thanks for letting us show us the place, and you know, we had a great time. I have a lot of good memories in this place. The biggest difference between Rochester and New York, I guess, obviously, is just the size of the city and, you know, how much is going on and, you know, the activity.
I did worry because it's such a big city, I thought. But once I went and saw where he was living and visited him, I wasn't worried anymore. And it's so much fun going to New York City and watching him play.
I think I blended into the crowd pretty well, but, you know, every once in a while you get somebody who passes you, recognizes you. They just, you know, say hi to you, keep on walking, or, you know, thank you for the job you're doing. That's one thing I like about New York, is how you can blend in with the crowd and do your own thing.
When we go to the city, we do a lot of fun things, but a lot of times we sit in his apartment with him because we just want to have quality time with him.
You know, just relax, have a beer, and just enjoy Ryan and Kai.
When I watch you at home on television and you fight or hit someone, I jump around. Is he hurt? Is he hurt?
Usually okay?
Yeah, usually right.
Everybody refused to sit next to my dad during games. If I wasn't scoring or if the game wasn't going correctly, he let it know.
We called it his game face, and we stayed pretty much clear of him until the game was over.
I think it's all a fallacy, Kelly. The fact is, a lot of people like to sit next to me because they like to hear my commentary on how you're playing. You're not moving the puck. You don't really take the shot that's appropriate. And a lot of times, there's people open, and you got to get your head up and look. Move the puck. You know?
I try to throw my body around as best I can. At the same time, I think I can, you know, put the puck in the net for the team, and, you know, I think I developed into a pretty good two-way forward.
Shot by Callahan. He scores!
To be honest with you, seeing 5 or 6 Callahan jerseys walking down the aisle going into the game and seeing him up on the Jumbotron for warm-up, it kind of just gives you a tickle. He looks pretty good in the jersey.
A lot of people ask me at work, you know, how's it feel to be the father of a New York Ranger and Olympian? You know, I tell them the truth. I don't know how that feels. I don't look at him like that. Ryan's Ryan. He wants to be the guy that makes the difference.